The alcohol hadn't been a problem for me for years. I had fun when I drank, and it was sociable and so forth. It got to be a problem. I got to be a different person when I drank, and I was doing things that I didn't plan on doing. I was doing things that I didn't want to do. Became dependent on alcohol, and I was using Valium at that time also when I couldn't drink, and I had to have either one. And I thought I was going crazy because I was doing things, like I said, I didn't want it. Couldn't be the husband, couldn't be the father I wanted to be. And it came to a point where one weekend I was in a blackout and I asked for help. And I was put in a 2-week detox thing in a mental health hospital. And that's exactly where I needed to be because I was crazy. And that 2 weeks really made a difference in my life. I was given some hope while I was in that 2-week thing. When I got sober enough for them to talk to me, they said I'm not crazy. They said, "Ray, you're an alcoholic, and there's something you can do about it." And I said, "What? What can I do?" And they told me to go to Alcoholics Anonymous, and I thought, well, there is hope. And I got on my knees and I asked God to help me, and He did. He's been helping me ever since. I've been sober ever since then. I got very active in Alcoholics Anonymous, and I was in the service structure and trying to help people, trying to help newcomers learn how to stay sober. And I was involved in that. I've been sober for 35 years, and I was involved in that in Alcoholics Anonymous for quite a few years. And when I came to this church, I realized that we needed a program that was faith-based for people with alcohol and drug problems at the same time. And I felt led to start that meeting here. It was the only group south of Jonesboro at that time. And I asked the board here if we could start a ministry to help people like that, and we did. And it's been going on now for 17 years. When we started the meeting, a man was going to help me with the group, and he didn't make it. He couldn't help, and so I started it by myself. And I would come in, I'd make the coffee, bring the cookies, and provide the literature, and have the door open. I always wanted the door to be open, and I did that for several weeks, and people finally started hearing about it, and they started coming. And we grew, and we had to go to a larger room, and now we're in the Hope House, and we've seen as many as 45 or 50 people in meetings. We've been doing it for about 17 years, and I don't regret 1 minute. I'm still doing it, still making the coffee, still bringing the cookies, and putting out the literature. I would guess, or I would think, that there's been several hundred people that came through the door in that 17 years, and I've seen, probably a dozen that have gone through the whole program and really made some serious changes in their lives, become members of the church and productive members of society. And I've seen their families come back together. And, the families, a lot of times, when somebody's getting help, somebody that has the problem, man, woman, or whoever it is that's getting the problem, is getting help, the families are left with nothing. And they're wondering, what about me? And we have a family support group for people like that, for the families of the people that have the problem. They learn things to help themselves instead of trying to help the one with the problem all the time. The highlight for me is seeing people's lives change. The highlight for me is just having the blessing of being there and watching God work in people's lives. And I've seen miracles. I've just been blessed to be a part of that. When one of our members walks the aisle, joins the church, or is baptized, that's worth whatever effort I put into it. What I've learned through this ministry and any other thing that I've tried to do for the Lord, is that the person making the effort, the person making the coffee and bringing the cookies, is the one that gets the blessing. And, my life today is God's gift to me, and what I do with it is my gift back to Him.